Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Serahdonald. I hope you all are doing good, feeling good. Do not move back to Nigeria if you cannot tolerate these things. I know I'm like Japada, my video is all about it, but the truth is that I have to be very honest with you people, especially because I'm seeing a lot of people moving back to Nigeria, and I was like, okay, let me do this video again. Like you all know, in case you're seeing this face for the first time, this channel actually encourages people to move back to Nigeria, but we do it truthfully, we do it honestly. I'm not going to lie to you. Of course, no matter what I say, there's still some things that you see and be like, oh, I didn't prepare for this. But imagine if I didn't tell you any of this. So today, I'm going to be listing some of the things that will frustrate you about moving back to Nigeria. This is not to say do not move back to Nigeria. No, this is just to say that get ready for these little things that can frustrate you. Now, this video was motivated because yesterday I went to the bank and I was trying to sort some things in the bank. I ended up staying like for about 2 hours, a lot of paperwork here and then, the network was down, things like that. And while these things happen once in a while, that once in a while can be frustrating because I'm just thinking like, what if I was at work and I just needed my break time to quickly do something? Why all this paperwork here? Why are we still another thing is that this thing also creates a lot of room for corruption and just this is why a lot of these small banks now are also growing, because when things like this happen, people start looking for the easiest way. That's why we have things like POS business, because if you need quick cash, the next thing now is that you come to the bank, the queue is a lot, you just have to now use POS. Do you get what I mean? So these are things as well that owners of these companies, government, these are things that you need to really, really, really look into. We have NIN, I have BVN, I have my NIN, I have my BVN, I have my thumbprint. With all these things, my entire life history is there. They still need your birth certificate, they need your this, they need paperwork, they need to sign 2 million things. Like, why do you have all this data if you cannot use those things? They're still telling you irregular signature that you signed when you were 18, they want you to resign it. Your biometrics shows you every single thing. They have e-visas now, right? When you're going to a lot of countries now, you don't even need to print out the visa. Nigeria is still a country where, in fact, if you're traveling abroad, still print out your paper. Because this thing happened to me once. This lady was asking me for my ticket. I was like, really? Really? Oh, yes, you're meant to print it out. I'm like, wow. Okay. In 2025, because this happened last year, I should print out my... Now, why they do these things is that, the people that print at the airport, they charge really high. So some of them will be giving them percentage. So they will pretend like you have to print it out so that it's just backwards. Sometimes these things can be really annoying. But anyway, without further ado, let me get into it. Number one is light. See, if you're not ready, if you're moving from a country that has 24-hour light, like you're moving from Canada, UK, America, where all you need to do is to pay your bills and there'll be light, don't move to Nigeria. Don't move to Nigeria. Don't move to Nigeria. Do not move to Nigeria if you don't have plans for light. If you cannot afford a generator, if you cannot stay in an estate, like my estate gives me 24 hours light, they cut my head off with the bills, but I will not have it any other way. Do not move to Nigeria if you do not have plans on how to put solar, or you do not have plans on how to get inverter. Just have your own plan for lights. If you have kids, especially if you're moving with kids that are already used to 24 hours, and Nigeria is very hot. So you must have your plans on how you want to find your own source of electricity. Either you move to an estate, and even your estate, your backup needs a backup. You can start small by getting an inverter that at least takes fan, light, so that you're able to charge your phone and certain things. And why this power issue is such a big issue is that recently I was working with someone who was also dealing with the power stuff, and I really got to see how it played, because sometimes when you're sitting from where you are, like, okay, in my estate I have lights and these things don't affect me, doesn't mean that it's not happening out there. So having to work with someone, and I'm like, do you know what, let's just see, because we'll plan to work at a certain time and we're all up on our system, and this guy is an editor, so he's editing with his desktop and light goes off. But he had already slept the entire day thinking that, okay, he was going to work all night with his system, and he has a UPS that 30 minutes is gone. Do you get what I mean? And at that time, I was just like, oh no, now I know the importance of really having a backup. So that has now affected work. That I remember one time I was doing one corporate job in Nigeria, and there was a lady that could never meet up with her work because her area did not have light. She had to quit because her area, there was no light, so she could not meet up any single deadline. Anyone. So do not move to Nigeria if you do not have plans. You'll be frustrated, trust me. So if you're moving and you don't have money to set up solar or to buy an inverter, just know that you will be frustrated. Yeah. Internet can frustrate you in this country. I don't know why they said that something is the floor where everybody is sharing a mask or something. I don't know, but internet can be really frustrating. Internet, I remember one time my previous house, I was using one internet company, and I literally was like, you know what, I'm going to leave just for this internet because I couldn't function. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. My phone, the network at that place was bad. The main Wi-Fi was bad. Before you know it, it's unlimited, but you do not get to use any unlimited. Shout out to my new, see, I'm not working with these guys. In case you're hearing me mention them in a lot of my videos, as of the time of this video, I'm not working with them, but I have to say it because it is real. I'm using cyberspace, right? And so far they deliver. Now, mind you, this is area specific, so make sure that any internet you're using, that they come to your area and check. Because when I bought SpectraNet and Smile, that was just a joke. It did not work for me. Then I had a colleague on the mainland that was saying that SpectraNet was really working for them. So make sure you check. But most important, do not move to Nigeria if you're not ready to get a backup for internet. Do not move to Nigeria if you are not ready to get a backup for internet. What did I say? You must have a backup for your internet, because in this country, your backup needs a backup. So even now that cyberspace is doing me well, I still have MTN backup, especially if you're doing work that requires you to be online, which most work. Now, do not move to Nigeria if customer service irks you. Dear Nigerians, what are we doing with customer service? This thing is so bad now that it is now happening with even Instagram vendors, young people. You're chatting with them and customer service is so terrible. Like, do you know how bad it is? I walked into a bank in VI, right? And the customer service was so good I wasn't used to it. But I was like, but when I go to bank in the UK, that's what it's supposed to be. But I had forgotten how good customer service was supposed to be. Everybody that saw me in that bank, from when you're walking in, okay, ma, what do you want to do to the lady? Even I was sitting there with the customer service person, she was doing something to me. Every colleague that walked in there still said, hi, good afternoon, ma, are they helping you? Because customer service is terrible. They do not train them. Can you believe I sent an email and I told the guy in the bank that the person that responded to me did not even do a good job, that I was the one telling the person how to handle that case. That is it that you guys don't train people again with customer service? It's really terrible. So if you're not ready to get angry, don't move to Nigeria, because you get angry. You have to be ready to say a lot of, can I meet your manager? And then by the time he escalates, they start saying, please, 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 God, please, for the sake of God, it's the handwork of devil. In everything in this country, they blame it on devil. Now, Nigeria, a typical Nigerian is typically badly behaved. Badly behaved. A typical Nigerian is badly behaved. You're going to experience that in Nigeria. And this is bringing me to the next one, which is staff hiring. A lot of people say labor is cheap, but they don't talk about what comes with that cheap labor. A lot of people move to Nigeria because in Nigeria, I can have a driver, which on that self is error. I'm going to talk about that in another video on these things we celebrate. But you can have a driver, you can have a cook, you can have all that, and you don't have to even earn much. We're going to talk about that in a video. But you know one thing they've not told you is how hard it is to find the right, honest staff in Nigeria. It is hard. It is hard. Either they don't listen or they're stealing from you, because they are entitled, and because all they need to do is to use religion and cover it. Because even the citizens, the people in question, a guy recently, he has a park. People stole phones at the park. The first comment I saw when he put it on thread, what did the person say? The person said, you shouldn't be doing this. These are young boys. First of all, they are not children for you to have hired them in the first place. These are young boys. There is poverty and there is hunger. Imagine somebody, an educated person, is coming online to defend somebody stealing phone, no, not food, and blaming it on hunger. Notwithstanding that, if I go to a place and my phone is stolen in a park, will I ever want to come back there again? No. They don't care about the business of that person. So if they didn't have cameras everywhere, This is how these people come and tweet and say, oh, I was at this park and they stole from me. And people will say, forgive, that it is the handwork of devil or it is the... So nobody talks about staff, how hard it is to have staff, because a typical Nigerian, like I said, is badly behaved. You have to teach. When I was working 9 to 5, I literally used to lose my mind, because a lot of companies will hire people who are not qualified for certain jobs, which is this, because they want to save money. They'll put people in positions where they're supposed to be interns. And as an intern, you're learning. So you're not supposed to be occupying that position. Now, the burden is on you, because at the end of the day, you're checking everywhere, because these people are not professionals who, by right, it's not their fault. They are meant to be taught. Then you're not talking about the people who want to travel abroad, who everything is, oh, if this was abroad, but they don't want to do what it stays with. Like, I had to ask one the other day, I said, every time I hear you guys have conversation about Japan, oh, abroad is this, do you know that abroad, if clocking is 8, you're there by 7:59? Have you ever come in here at the exact time you're supposed to come in? You can hire someone today in Nigeria. Tomorrow they tell you, sorry ma, my child was sick. My husband's cousin's brother's sister that was from the village was visiting. Ma, please, can I have salary advance? A blah, 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 blah. It is hard to have good staff in Nigeria. So if you can do a business with, like me, how do I put it? Like, the less I get to interact with people in terms of staff, the better for me. So things I do, like I have cleaner that comes and goes. So I don't get to see you 24 hours. So that way you can use your other time and also get a job or do something, because I can't deal with that. And it limits the time that I have to be picking the things you did and you did not do. At least we both have breaks in between. So I try to do that. I try to merge things. So instead of having 10 people, have 20 days, what can one person do that? 2 people, okay. If do 2 people's job, I'll pay for it, it's better. Another thing is transportation. Do not move to Nigeria if you do not have any plans of getting a means of transportation, except you're going to be working from home. Bolt and Uber can be very reliable, but recently, I don't know what happened, they stopped checking their cars. You can hire an Uber and the bill is 30-something K, but the car looks like the car will be smelling, the car will be dirty, the car will fit nothing like the description of what was in it. Uber, Bolt, InDriver, all of you, please take note of this. Your cars are terrible. It is hard to now go for events with your cars. Before, you could just rely on Uber. You can rely on Bolt and all these other companies. But now, they'll tell you a red car is coming. Come from the gates, you'll be hearing the sound of that car. So our advice, if you know you're going to be going out, get a car. Unfortunately, it makes driving hard because so many people on the road. So if you know you're going to be going out once in a while, that's fine. Transportation, it's not like the UK where you can come and, you just enter BRT, blah, 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 and things like that, and your car is waiting for you. Another thing is, Nigeria is very inconsistent. Nigeria is very inconsistent with pricing. So you can't say, I'm going to work for 1 month, I'll be able to budget X amount. My transportation for this week will cost me 50,000. It's by their discretion. Like, there is no structure when it comes with house rent. I know someone that just paid house rent recently. She had to look for the money to pay for the next year. She has not even entered the one she paid for. Why? Because a landlord can wake up and just put 100% or something, or give quick notice if you don't want to pay that money. So because of that lack of structure, people just increase their price anyhow. I know that they closed down a few supermarkets as well. They were doing that. Like, they'll just stand up and something that is supposed to be 300 naira, they'll just put it for 1K. You get? So because of that, you see a lot of inconsistency in transportation. So you can't really plan and say, okay, for this week, I'm going to use this amount. It's at the discretion of maybe if you're using bus, you come outside. There's except things like BRT and things like that. But if you're using bus, the bus guy might just come outside and say, there's traffic. From here to here, there used to be 2,000. Let's just add 1,000. One of my colleagues told me one time that they told him, if you don't enter, you go late to work, HR will sanction you. That was so funny. So yes, another thing is reliable service in Nigeria. It's hard. I had to downsize sometimes. Like, I do interior design, and there's some things I had to remove from my business just because they are not reliable. So the things I can't really do myself, I try not to do it because they are very not reliable. I'm telling you, like, as much as flights, right? So for example, I have a flight, like, this is crazy. I'm traveling somewhere. I'll have to go to Abuja. and take a flight from place because I'm traveling with someone and the person is in Abuja. So I was like, okay, let's meet up at the airport. The ideal thing to do, since the flight is for 3 p.m., the ideal thing to do, right, is to take the morning 6 a.m. flight from Lagos to Abuja, then by 3 p.m. fly off. But I can't risk that, because if I risk that, I risk losing my ticket, because that 6 a.m. flight might take off by 3 p.m. So what that's going to do for me now is that if I don't have accommodation, I'll now have to go to Abuja and I'll have to pay the night before just to be sure that I make it. Things like that, they're not reliable. You cannot be sure that the bus will come at this time. You cannot be sure that that delivery will be there at a certain time. You cannot be sure that that airline that said that they will leave at 6 will leave at this time. Can be very unreliable. Another thing about Nigeria is that cheating and outsmarting. Everybody sees it as guy. We're trying to guide you. We're trying to outsmart you. It's very annoying. That thing can be very annoying. Like sharp guy, sharp guy, sharp guy. It's cheating. No such thing as sharp guy. Like you're cheating me is not nice. Everybody's constantly looking for ways to outsmart you. So you have to just always be on your guard. It just keeps you on your guard. Do you understand? Your driver is looking for how he's going to buy fuel of 30,000 and tell you it's 50,000. The fuel guy that is pumping it in, you have to look. Like this one has happened to me. He raised up the thing and changed it when I said I was paying cash. You have to always check. You have to check that the POS that the salesperson is giving you is not their personal POS. So those mental work is not, it's crazy. It's like broad daylight cheating. There was a time this taxi driver, this riding cars will literally end a trip, and like they were doing very crazy things. There was a time that you've asked them how much, maybe it hasn't come on your phone. They'll just change the price. So they'll have it like, but it's a screenshot. They'll show you, they'll like, 7,000. When you now reach, because of network, maybe your own now finally come up, you see it was 3K. I'm always reporting that thing to Uber whenever it happens. Another thing is, do not come to Nigeria, especially Lagos, if you do not like traffic. If you don't like traffic and you know you're going to be going out every day, avoid Lagos like you're avoiding anything. Lagos traffic is not for the faint-hearted. I've lived in Enugu, I've lived in Abuja, those places, no. I used to leave my house at 8 and I'll get to where I want to, right on time. But you see Lagos traffic is on another level. Please, Lagos state government and every other government, please keep building roads. Do roads. They are very important so that our cars can last. The other day I was driving through Lekki, and I just saw how much that bad road, because the road used to be very, very bad. Now that they've worked on the road, 10 minutes you're where you are, because it was traffic. It was potholes that were causing those traffics and spoiling cars. Please. Another thing about Lagos, about Nigeria, I know that this one is going to ruffle a few feathers. People don't like hearing it, but it's the truth. Another people to avoid in Nigeria is over-religious people. They will drain you. Over-religious people will drain you, and this is one of the things that keeps the country on a standstill, because people know that all they need to do is tell you is the handwork of the devil. All they need to do is lie and tell you it's handwork of the devil, and people say, please, ma, forgive. So the girl putting up the face of her help that was stealing from her. What was she saying? In the video, I wasn't surprised. In the video, she was saying, ma, please, it's the devil, forgive. And the comment section as follows: please, it's devil. In UK, they blame devil. It's devil only in Nigeria. So that is the thing you're going to meet a lot in Nigeria. Do you know that? Just a quick story. One guy told me, an Uber guy in Abuja, told me that he was chatting with this girl, that he picked her up by 2 p.m. and he was like, from church, that he was like, maybe he thought she used the church as a landmark on a Wednesday. And she was like, oh, and he was just like, chatting, because he likes to have conversation. I mean, when I see he likes to have conversations, I don't mind, because at the end of the day, is what it is. I do that a lot. So he said he was chatting with the lady, and he was like, ma, I picked from church. Is that church? They say yes, so that they're having. He said, did you take permission from work? He said, yes. I said, what did you do? He said, oh, that she told the work that they had something to do. She said, okay, what if the work they said no? She said that she's ready to quit, or she won't miss this thing. And he was like, sorry, I know I'm driving Uber. You might feel I don't have money. That's what he said. He said, but ma, it's Wednesday by 2 p.m. Like, don't you people have a time when you should go to church? And then he asked me something. And I said, first of all, who is that pastor that put a program by that time? Is that person not aware that people are at work? So these are the things that you face a lot in Nigeria when you're working with overly religious people. They will leave your business. I had someone like that. Ma, please, I'll be leaving by 4. I have church. Ma, please, on Wednesday, I'll not be able to come because we have fasting and prayer. On Friday, we have this thing. At the end of the day, I'll be like, how many days is remaining for you now? Shouldn't there be time for these things? So these are the kind of people that you encounter in Nigeria. So do not move to Nigeria if you're not ready to deal with this mental gymnastics. I'm just kidding about the whole do not move to Nigeria. The whole idea is be prepared because we are doing it, right? These are some of the things that I wish I knew because I've had times where everything I'm showing on this channel is something that I have experienced. I've had times where I even had to, like, I lost money because, like what I said, this kind of thing, I'll think that 6 o'clock flights, they'll leave by 6. I'll go and book my international flight for the same day. 3 p.m. I was still at the airport. That's how I missed that other one. Wahala. So when you are aware of these things, it helps you to plan better. Sometimes the day you go late, 6 flights, 5:59 it has even taken off, but at least these things just keeps you on your toes. And I just hope that it keeps getting better because at the end of the day, the government has a role to play. We have a huge role to play. Like I mentioned, things like trying to outsmart people. That's not a government, whatever. That's you and I. Like, why are you not being honest with people? Sometimes in Nigeria, let me tell you how bad it is. Somebody will be making your hair for 10,000. They'll come to your house, and when they see your house or they feel you're rich, they'll change it to 50,000. I'm like, this thing has a price. It has a price. Regardless, the person can now tip you. But to always feel like, let me outsmart this person. Let me take soap from this person's house. They have a lot. It's not considered as stealing. It's not it. Anyway, my name is Serahdonaldpr. If you like what you watch, please do well to subscribe, comment, like, share, and share your video ideas on the comment section. Please, what kind of videos do you want me to talk about? Everything about Japada doing business in Nigeria, especially real estate. I got you. And if you want a one-on-one consultation, please do well to send me an email and I will respond. Thanks and stay blessed.